What's up, y'all? If you're over 30 and you want to start a YouTube channel, here's my advice after being here for almost 5 years. So I definitely think you should do it, and here's why. So I started my channel about 5 years ago now, and I was 33 at the time, and I just wanted to give it a shot. And my ideas at the time were to talk about money, investing, crypto, just things that had changed my life, like getting out of debt and sales, stuff like that. And I think I had a decent idea. The problem was that I just had no idea what I was doing. And that's gonna be the problem with most people at the start, is you don't know what you don't know. And after almost 5 years here, I can tell you the number one thing that's held me back is just inconsistency. Because as you can see, I'm under 200 subscribers right now. At the time of recording this, I'm at 139, and that's amazing, but it's taken me over 4 years to get to this point. And I remember crossing that 100 subscriber mark and just being so pumped to achieve this goal. So the thing with YouTube right now is, with most social media, there's never been a better time to get started. There's this new version of social media that's called algorithmic content, okay? So what that's doing is basically matching a video or a piece of content to the audience it thinks it wants to watch that, okay? In the past, there was more it's depending on your number of followers and the best channels that have the most. It basically was like a popularity contest on social media. And there's still a little bit of element on that. But now it's so much easier to really go viral just off of one single video. There was a guy who just went from 1,000 or less subscribers. It was this guy, Odad Fishing. And because this guy made a TikTok about him and it went viral, it was this account called Kind Penguins. He went from that to 1 million subscribers in about a day or two because his story was so good. And that's the power of social media right now, is the algorithmic based content, okay? But here's why you shouldn't really focus on the followers aspect if it was my advice, okay? So a lot of people come to social media and they want to start a YouTube channel, and they're just okay, I want to grow as fast as possible. I want to hit 1,000 subscribers so I can get monetized. I want to hit that 4,000 hours of watch time. However, like you said, you don't know what you don't know. And what you have to realize is that to actually start getting good, you have to hit a certain amount of volume, okay? And when you go start making videos, yeah, they're gonna suck at first, but that's just part of the process. It's just like learning any new skill. You have to go learn that skill and just be okay with sucking for a while until you start getting the hang of it, okay? And I've posted over 100 videos now on YouTube, and I'm just starting to get the hang of it. That's what I've heard from so many people, is it really takes about that amount of volume to even start getting an understanding of what you're doing. So I was on YouTube and I started doing my original content, okay? But the problem was I was basically just trying to document my journey. I have this goal that I'd like to be a millionaire by the age of 43, and I'm 38 now. And I've made decent progress, but it's been a lot of ups and downs over the years. And I thought that just basically starting a podcast talking about my journey was going to be enough to make my channel grow, okay? And that's not really the case, because what I was doing was I was posting these thumbnails that were just really generic and not eye-catching, or I didn't have titles that made the viewer want to view the video. It was basically just the title of my podcast, Journey to a Million, episode, whatever. And if somebody sees that, they might click it, but it's not gonna pull in a lot of people, okay? And it's not really serving other people. And after a while, I would post all these videos, and then, they'd get 5 views, 10 views. Some of them got 100 or so, and that was pretty cool. But it was more just crypto content, because it was something that was happening in that moment, okay? And what I realized over time is I would actually rather post content that's evergreen. And the cool thing with that is you can make a video and it can live on for years and years and years and keep going, because the story and the concept and the lesson still applies, okay? And The thing that really actually helped me over the past year was getting on X, okay? I found this YouTuber named Dan Coe, and I'm sure you might have seen his content before, but he's all about like writing and how that can change your life and how it's changed his life. I think in the past 4 years, he's gone from a freelance web designer to a multimillionaire, and now he's pulling in multiple $1 million per year just because of writing and posting his ideas on social media and like creating these digital products and stuff like that. So his channel, like the way he did his, I was like, man, this is really good. A lot of people watch his content and it's very unique and they just resonate a lot with it because he's talking about society and all these things like that are general concepts, but then he teaches lessons inside of that. Okay. And I started watching like all of his old content from like the very first start because I was like, okay, I really like this guy. I want to go back and see like what his original content is because like I want to see the journey that he's been on. Okay. And even his like original videos that he started out as were probably way better than mine are now. But that's just like part of the process. And it got me to finally basically go on X. And up until that point, I was never really growing because I was trying to go on so many different social medias and I'd post things all over the place. I'd be like trying to post stuff on Facebook and get like 3 likes, post the same things on Instagram, get like 2 or 3 likes, no one would care. But then on X, I started finding a lot of people who resonated with the same ideas. There are a lot of people that are into self-improvement. I mean, obviously everyone is, but it's just Facebook and Instagram, to me, at least for the network that I'm on, is more just like sharing personal pictures and stuff like that. So it's not really about like self-improvement, content creation, fitness, stuff like that. So I started posting that stuff on X, started making some friends, and I've learned more in the past year of posting on X about content creation than I had in the past 3 years of YouTube, okay? And the things that I kind of learned were that you don't have to reinvent the wheel, okay? A lot of people want to just come up with this crazy idea. They think it's gonna go viral and they post it, nothing happens, and then they get burned out. Like that happened to me so many times. And that's why it was so difficult with YouTube, is because I would like come up with this idea, film it, and then because I didn't know how to make a good video, I would get like 5 views on it and I'd have spent like 6 hours sometimes making these videos. Actually, like after being on X for a while and realizing that a lot of content is just like reverse engineered, I went to a similar fitness channel that I like and I looked at some of his thumbnails and I made my own version of that, told my story, and then that video now is approaching 2,000 views from like 3 weeks ago. And the first 24 hours, I think I uploaded it. It had like 3 views, then like 19 views. And I was like, all right, like it's about normal, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden the next morning I checked it and it was over 600. And within like the next day or two, it had hit like over 1,000 and now it's close to 2,000. So it really is just like taking something that has worked for someone else, reverse engineering that, and then like making your own version, okay? And this kind of brings me to my next point, is that like you don't have to reinvent the wheel, but like everything that you're doing is basically entertaining people. So how do you entertain people? You tell them stories, okay? And so with these stories, basically like you're teaching a lesson in the story, and that's like basically what's going to make people care about your video. It's going to make them care about you, and that is what's going to make them like you. And when people like you, they're going to subscribe to you, and then they're going to root for you, okay? And I hope people root for me in my journey over this 5 years to like make it in the content creation game and then become a millionaire eventually. Like I don't really even care at this point about becoming a millionaire. I do care, but it's not like the main goal. I feel like the main goal is basically getting to a point where I'm bringing in enough income from this to basically decide exactly how I spend my day every day. And I'm almost to that point. I really enjoy what I do for my job. So like this is kind of just building out something in addition to that, okay? See, the thing is like a lot of people are going to want to jump on YouTube and be like, hit this result fast. But what you kind of have to adopt, what's really helped me over the past year, is learning this thing called long-term mindset. And I always would try to like jump into something, get the fastest results possible, and then never actually get anywhere because I was so focused on the result, okay? But if you start creating content, it's gonna change your life because you're gonna start seeing the world in a different way. You're gonna start coming up with all these ideas, and then you're gonna see things and be like, oh, that's a great idea for a piece of content, okay? And so you're going to start like creating this book of like content and this volume of content that you never even thought was possible, because you're going to start writing out all these ideas or documenting them. And like right now in my YouTube video ideas notes, I have like 80 ideas, I think. And then there's like a whole Notion. I have like pages and pages of Notion stuff that I have to like eventually sort through and figure out like how to distill all the best ideas and principles into that. But really, like, if you think about it, don't think about it like I'm trying to go to YouTube to achieve a result of subscribers. I'm trying to go to YouTube to have this creative outlet and then become good at content creation. And then I can tell my story and share the lessons that I've learned in life through my story. And then that's an everlasting process, okay? So like, if I'm 38 now, I still plan on doing this when I'm 48. I still plan on doing this when I'm 43. So like, just get in the habit of doing it now. And then when 5 years rolls around, you won't look back and be like, man, I wish I had started that YouTube channel I was thinking about like 5 years ago. Where would I be now if I had done that? See, that's the thing, is like, even if I'm here and I haven't achieved necessarily the results that I've wanted, I'm 5 years more ahead than I would have been if I had never started, okay? So like, there's always two ways to look at things, okay? And that reframe is pretty powerful, okay? And now I'm like, all right, like I just need to stick with this, stay consistent, keep improving, and eventually I will make it, I think, because most people that are on this platform and other platforms have told me, like, it's not about just like getting a huge result fast. It's about time in the market, because you have to be there long enough to see the landscape, understand what works, and then just keep improving. And if you keep improving long enough, you're going to succeed. Your videos aren't going to be perfect. You just have to go do it, create that volume, create that first like foundation of just like struggle, basically. And then on top of that, you start like building and getting a little bit better. Everyone's going to start from zero. You're going to go through a lot of struggle at first, pound the pavement. Eventually more people will get to know you. Eventually more people will like you, and eventually more people will trust you. And that's all you're doing, is really just like building the story and like using this as a creative outlet to eventually just like achieve whatever financial goals you might have. Okay. But the cool thing is the upside is asymmetric. And if you don't know what that means, it's basically like very limited downside and very unlimited upside. Okay. So like at worst, like you go make these YouTube videos and you don't get any subscribers. Cool. Like, worst case scenario, you tried, all right? You can always keep trying. But then if you stick with it long enough, like 5 to 10 years, eventually you could have 100,000 or 1,000,000 subscribers, how fast you iterate and improve. And then all of a sudden, like, you built this thing from nothing. Just look at it long term. Don't think about like hitting a certain amount of followers or subscribers like off the bat. Just try to focus on making content, see what does well, see what kind of content you like. Go find that, make like a similar thumbnail, a similar title, and make your own version of that using your own story, and see how that resonates with people. Just try it and just see what works. Like, that's it. So, all right, if you got value from this video, I genuinely appreciate you watching. I don't even know what I'm gonna do with this channel yet, but I might make a small community or something like that. So if that's something you'd be interested in, just drop a comment below or tell me what you liked or didn't like about this video. I'm very open to feedback. I've gotten a lot of criticism so far on this channel, so that's been another fun part, is like to thicken your skin up a little bit. Like, I know I have a big forehead. Yeah, I know. And I know I'm not like the best investor yet. So I'm trying to think long term, and that's been the whole evolution process for me, is just to like start thinking in a long-term mindset, and that's what I'm doing. So if you can vibe with that, I appreciate you being here, and have a great rest of the day. I'll see you soon.